Okay, what's up, guys? This is the Battle Rifle. This is a quick update video on my Landmark City project that I've been working on for a little while. It's been quite a while since the last update. I think the last Planet Minecraft update I've done was it was at least a few months ago. Kind of been having like a break here and there, but at the same time, um, doing a bit of like as of late we've started picking work back up on the project. Like it's started to pick up again, but I thought I'd show you what's happened at least since the last update video. I don't know. I can't remember if I've done an update since the last update video, but this is definitely the last update video, the latest update video since the one in that I did in May, and quite a lot like has happened since that. It'll probably lag a little bit here. I'm actually gonna, yeah. So I guess the first thing I should start off with is the Chicago district. Willis Tower. It's done, kind of modified it a little bit. There's in real life. There's like they're working on a new sort of lobby, like lower floors for the Willis Tower. And I might add that when it's complete, like change the lobby to suit the new one. But for now, it's just like the old design with the sort of dome thing as the entrance. Basically, I kind of haven't really done much apart from 3 Chicago skyscrapers. The reason for these is because shortly after the May update video I did, I went to Chicago, like in real life, and kind of just got me inspired to like build these. Well, I built these before I went there. Like I built this on I think it was the 17th of May, which is actually my birthday. I built that on my birthday, and then I built this like the following day. I think this is the fastest rising tower in this city, because well, John Hancock Center, which is this building here, is the first super tool built to use the fill command, or at least the first skyscraper in the city to use the fill command. And then this was built shortly after, because all the floors are sort of in the same vertical sort of like alignment. I could basically rinse and repeat the same code for like every floor, but just change the height value for filling the floors with stone, and then I just filled in the gaps around the side, and then yeah, that was that. Like I'm pretty sure this took me only like 6 hours to build. It was over like past midnight, so it started on the 18th or something, finished on the 19th, but it literally took hours to build. That is a very simple build. And this is the Aeon Center, by the way. Yeah, so these 3 are the Chicago, and I got inspiration to do these from my trip to Chicago. I built these before I went there, and then when I went there IRL, I was like taking pictures of them and stuff, like seeing what I could potentially improve in the Minecraft versions of them. The heights are also accurate roughly to the scale of like each other. So like the Willis Towers, like John Hancock Center and Ale Center, are built to scale with the Willis Tower. And I did in real life. I went up Willis Tower, and I went on the glass box as well. That was an experience, to say the least. It's pretty cool, man. I don't know what to say. It's pretty cool. I'll show you sort of. You might notice some things that have been sort of done since the last video. One of the notable things is the main sort of above ground line, like minecart sort of transport system has been completed as well. Like it goes all the way around the city and then finishes back at Grand Central. There has been quite an overhaul to Grand Central, and I'll show you what I mean by that shortly, or probably towards the end of the video. These updates, I always plan on them being quick, but they usually drag on quite a bit. But I think it's better to show you rather than just quickly rush it, because I don't do these videos very often. Also, I have a new mic as well, so I apologize if some things are too quiet, some things are like too loud. I've literally just plugged it in and started using it. I haven't, that's all I've really done. I haven't like set it up properly yet, I guess. I'll show you the airport progress like in the meantime. Compared to if you saw the last update video, it's a lot more complete. It's still got quite a lot of work to do. I can't remember if I added this logo last time, but the terminal's a bit more complete now. We've got a functioning sort of luggage system in the terminal. Like you can drop these off to your like flights. Also did a little mini sort of landmark like display here, I guess, for like people arriving. I think it looks pretty cool. Like the Golden Gate Bridge one looks pretty cool, and the security's done as well. Like again, a lot more stuff has been done since you've last seen it, but it's still got quite a long way to go. Like this will eventually be a car park, I'm thinking. That's the train system that goes all the way round through the Asiana district, actually, which I will show you, has been started as well. The taxiways / runway are a lot more complete as well now. Still the one plane. Again, credits for the plane designs will be inside the planes themselves. Actually, last minute I was like, what's missing from the airport? And I was like, oh yeah, of course we need a ATC tower. So I added an air traffic control tower and the taxiways, the gateways and stuff. You can also, there's like bag drop and stuff. So when the planes are built, you can put all the luggage in this sort of, you can see a minecart. Can I do this? Which button is it? Yeah, that one. You can see the luggage goes in there. Well, it goes in the chest, and you can put it in there, minecart with the chest, and then the luggage goes down. It goes underground, and then it ends up in these, and then that's where like baggage claim is for passengers like arriving, and for passengers departing, you drop your bag in the terminal, and then it goes down. You can see there, and it goes into that little box there, and then I'm gonna eventually probably build some tracks that go above the ground to each aircraft. But yeah, and then there's sort of a underground passage here to this terminal, which is still again being built. I kind of want to get the main, like some planes built around here first, get this one fully complete, and then move on to this one. This will be like the long haul terminal, I guess. It's still the same terminal as this, but it's just a different building, I guess, for the long haul flights. Because airports are huge. Like you really underestimate how big they actually are, and to make one in Minecraft, it's like you need to go quite out of your way. But yeah, like the runway is pretty much the same as what was in the last video. The sea, well, I guess the lake in this case is a lot more complete now though. Like the water goes all the way out, stretches out to the sea. I keep calling it the sea. I'm just gonna, you know what I mean if I say the sea. Haven't built anything over here because we might potentially, when this part of the airport is complete, might potentially build another runway and maybe another terminal. Just make it like a massive airport, and then build the rest of the city around it. Because of the render distance limit on realms, you can't really, like, this airport seems really far away, but if you load this in single player and stand like in one of the high rises in the city and look over, it's actually like the airport's really not that far away. Like it's quite close, all things considered. Like in real life it would be considered close, but in this game it feels like a million miles away. But it's just because it's such a long process of like building these massive like complexes. But yeah, so I guess I'll go over some of the fillers that have been made as well, like filler buildings. just a lot more like streets and stuff have been completed since the last video. Like just kind of to make certain city blocks look more complete. Just kind of just stuff that like needed doing, you know. I'll try and find some examples. Well, Park Avenue, 432 Park Avenue, I've sort of customized, like, made more detail around like the base of the building. Like I've added the garage, which is actually there like in real life, and there's like another shop. Sort of like the billionaire sort of area, this bit, and I've also built 425 Park Avenue, which is a building I think it's under construction in New York right now actually, which is a pretty cool style like office building, and I thought it'd be really cool to include this in the city. I think it goes really nicely with the rest of the buildings around it. Shops as well, like a few shops here. That hotel's been under construction for a little while, but I've started the Flatiron building there as well. Another building there. There's a McDonald's, and then there's a comic book shop above that. It's kind of like the Midtown area. Didn't really know what to do with this triangle section here, so I just kind of made a little scenic sort of bit. There is actually a part like that in real life, like near the Flatiron building in New York City. My friend Martin's been working on some of these houses. I told him to hold off on the houses for a little while, because we kind of want to put the high rises in first. You don't really want to just fill the city with like low rise housing, even though these will just be like billionaire houses or whatever, because in the city. MetLife building as well is a building that's been completed since the last video. Started construction quite a while ago, but didn't actually end up finishing it until fairly recently. I'd say like a month or two ago. But yeah, like one of the buildings that kind of needed to be completed, and it looks so nice when you like stand and you can look all the way down this street, and it's just the MetLife building at the end of it. I can't remember if this building was finished last time, but this is 30 Rockefeller Plaza, aka the Rockefeller Center. The Rockefeller Center is under construction down there. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, just because of how close to the real thing it actually looks. Like, fortunately in Minecraft, the way that like you can build stuff, I just make like this building's just like perfect for Minecraft. This took a very long time to make. This is also made before Phil was introduced into the game, or at least before I discovered it. I didn't even know it was a thing until 1.14 came out. But this is like one of my favorite buildings, just because of how like close it looks to like the real thing. It looks really nice, like lit up at night as well. Because for some reason I decided to light the whole building up, as opposed to like this, where I've just left most of it like darkness. Trying to think what else we've done. It's pretty much it for that part. I guess the biggest I'll show you another building that I've made. So Willis Tower, as you might have heard me mention in the last video, it was the tallest building in the city. However, that's no longer the case. It's been surpassed by the Taipei 101, and we built that on a separate island to this island. Also, my friend Martin's almost finished the sports district. It's looking pretty nice so far. But we go over here. You can see the railway line is sort of continued over here. Again, these islands have yet to be complete, but the Taipei 101 is complete, like entirely complete, with the observation deck, tuned mass damper at the top. One of my favorite. Like, this took a few days to build. I've always wanted to build this, but I struggled for the longest time thinking about like how I was going to build it. And we needed to use like maths for certain things, for the certain angles and tilts of like glass. There's 8 stacks. Obviously I needed to just work out like roughly how high they would be each, and also bear in mind its scale compared to the other towers. This is built to scale with the actual Willis Tower, like in real life. So yeah, so at the moment it's the tallest building in the city, on architectural height, which I class as here. Like, this is the architectural height of the building, and in that respect, it's the tallest building in the city. It's like way taller than anything else. The antenna goes up to the world height limit of 256, which is tied with Freedom Tower, Willis Tower, and the One World Trade Center, the North Tower. But yeah, one of my favorite buildings. I have yet to fill its surroundings in, but that will be sort of my next focus. And this is the Asiana district. I'm planning on building a lot more Asian sort of super tall towers, like maybe like Tokyo Tower and potentially the Shanghai World Financial Center, on sort of different islands around here. Like, this will eventually, like this lake, obviously it will go down here and then kind of continues into like a river, I guess. I have yet to fill it all in, but I've sort of, it looks a bit more complete now. It looks a bit more like an actual island as well, now that the water's been put around it, because otherwise it just looked like a mess. Not sure what to do on this island. I was thinking the Eiffel Tower, but I'm gonna just leave it for now, until I've fully decided what I want to do with it. But yeah, so this road will go over here and then probably cross over this island, and this will be like the Asiana district. I'm thinking of making this island just specifically for the Taipei 101, and then building everything else around it, like on the sides, opposite sides of the river. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this, like, specifically. I'll probably just kind of make it up as I go along. But yeah, like, I just had to build something, and I wanted to build the Taipei 101 separate from everything else, just to kind of separate the different sort of continents, I guess. Even though I've got the Great Pyramid of Giza just in the middle of the city, but it's a bit too late to change that now. But I just thought it'd be cool to like put it here. And also, if you take the train from the airport into Grand Central, you go along this train line, and you go right past the Taipei 101. So it's really cool to see like the scale of all the buildings, and then you just see the massive, the Taipei 101, and then you go into the city and you see all the other high rises. Now, the biggest sort of addition, I guess the most important addition since the last video, is the metro system I've added. So basically, we've used the Nether teleportation system, where you go in and then you move and then you go through another teleporter in another. We've abused that, and we've made a teleport system through the Nether, but to make it look like sort of London Underground style. It was actually scared the shit out of me. It took me a while to like see what that actually was for a sec. So we have a kind of tube map sort of system here in Grand Central. This has been added. So we're currently at Midtown, and I've just got different names for different stations. You've got Old Town, and it says what you can access through certain stations as well. Origin as well, which I have yet to actually make a proper station for, but that is the spawn, like 000, because if you look right now, we're like minus 1055 and then positive 1121, so we're quite far away from like 000, which is like where most people will like spawn. But there will eventually be a underground connection, so if you spawn at 000, or you're there, you can quickly take the underground and get back to the city 1,000 blocks away. So yeah, Old Town, Midtown, South Solitude, which is with the Asiana district / Taipei 101. It's also the other island included, but haven't put a sign because I haven't allocated anything to it yet. And then Westgate, which is the where the airport is. So I'll just show you quickly. So this is Midtown, obviously, and they're color coded as well. So you can see which one you're at based on what color the concrete is. It's really laggy for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so we're at Midtown now. Tells you like this way is for Old Town. and obviously the tube map before, if you remember like where you want to be, which place you have to go. You just follow that route. So say we want to go to the Taipei 101, we'd go get a minecart and then go on there, move forwards, press the button, go down this way, and then if you want to carry on going, when you pass over that, it stops this redstone torch for a second, which stops these tracks. So when you stop here, you stop dead. But if you want to carry on going, say you want to carry on going, I think to Westgate, you just keep holding forward and then you'll carry on going. Same story here. You just carry on going. That was South Solitude, by the way, the green concrete. And then we should be at Westgate now. Yeah. This is where the airport is. Again, it's sort of like a custom style made to look like the like a sort of underground train system. And then we go to the airport. We're all the way across the lake. But yeah, no, it's a pretty handy system. I didn't really think about using that until recently. I also didn't know about the nether system recently, which is why I just decided to add it. Just because I think it'd be such a decent for people just downloading this world wanting to get around quickly. I think it's such a decent addition, and there's multiple ways to get around the city now, which is nice. And some have their advantages. Like the Nether Metro it is cool, and it's the fastest way to get around if you're trying to cover long distances. The train is also decent. Because you get the scenic sort of approach. You go through, you go past the Taipei 101, you go over the bridges, and then you go around, and you start to see the high rises, and then you get to Grand Central, and then if you go across the Golden Gate Bridge, the fact that you're going across the Golden Gate Bridge is a thing on its own. And then when you go, when you end up in the city, you get all the the sky. You kind of get dropped straight into the center of the city, between all the high rises and stuff. It's a really cool, every method of getting between the airport and the main city is it has its advantages and disadvantages. Obviously the Golden Gate Bridge is going to be the slowest way, but it's the most sort of scenic, I guess, where you see all the buildings come into view. Obviously, if you're on single player, the render distance will be a little bit better, because Realms has a limit. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it for this update video. No doubt I'll do another one before the end of the year. If I don't, then rip. Yeah, so we're still working on this, sort of every now and then. Some days I'll just wake up and be like, I want to do this today. The Taipei 101 is just random. I hadn't done anything for 2 weeks, and I just decided I was going to build the Taipei 101. So I'm sure how soon certain things going to get finished, but definitely be working on stuff for sure. For landmarks, I'm kind of running out of ideas, but it's also stuff that remains is stuff that's kind of tricky to build. So yeah, only time will tell really. And I guess next year, I'll do a sort of 1 year sort of progression video, since my friend Martin started helping me on this world, since I started putting this on Minecraft Realms. Because if you have more people working on the world, it kind of, you motivate each other, and it kind of, things just get done so much faster, compared to when I was just doing this on my own, where back in 2018, when it was just myself, and all that was done is the Empire State Building, Chrysler Building, World Trade Center, and just a few buildings, and then the start of the park. But ever since my friend Martin started helping me on this world, things have just absolutely taken off. So much more stuff has been done. It's borderline unrecognizable from when it first started. The only evidence is the buildings that were there are just still there. So much stuff has been built around it. But yeah, so I think we're probably going to try and focus filling a lot of the gaps in the main sort of city island, and then start expanding out. We've already started expanding out with the Taipei 101 and stuff like that. And obviously the airport needs to get finished. At least going to get that finished by the end of the year. Maybe even start Terminal 2. I think like yeah, I'm gonna kind of focus on filling the gaps on the main island, for at least for the time being. If I think of any more landmarks, obviously we'll build them. If you have any requests for landmarks you'd like to see in the city, feel free to leave a comment on either on this video or on the Planet Minecraft page. We also have a Discord. There's a link to that on the Planet Minecraft page. It's kind of not very active, but there are updates that I post on there, like screenshots and just like mini updates, like stuff that isn't really important enough for a Planet Minecraft update, but like I guess just a screenshot of like a new build and stuff like that will appear in there. Just like follow on Planet Minecraft as well. Also tweet at me at TheBattleRifle if you have any questions, or anything you want to get involved, or maybe want to like play on the world and stuff. We can make that happen maybe. For a download link, we probably still not going to release it for a little while because we want the city to be like almost complete, at least complete enough to the point where we're happy to release a download link, which isn't going to be for a little while, because even though the city's really starting to take shape, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, in order for it to be kind of functional. I want to kind of make so you can, like, there's basically a city complete already, but all that's left to do is just like extra stuff. But at the moment, it's still missing like a lot of major things, like for example, a hospital, just like all the emergency services. Obviously, the lake isn't finished at all. The airport isn't finished, and there's just loads of gaps between the buildings. So it's like even though we've done loads, there's still so much more to do. And I'd like to release a download link when it's more like almost complete. But yeah, like I've rambled on. I try not to make these too long, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.